All right. Well, I say we get going with 4.
No, of course, absolutely. They'll catch up.
All right. Um, Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are live on YouTube, and I appreciate you tuning in. Oh, now we're down to 2.
Oh, they just saw you.
Let's stop watching the numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Don't pay attention to it because it's what they catch up to it later, so it's fine.
Well, thanks for joining. It has been a whirlwind to get here, and we're just getting started. I thought to invite 2 of my friends tonight. We have Jen Gilhoy, who is, I call her my soul sister. We're going to tell a pretty fascinating story of how we know each other, which actually kind of is a whole prelude to this journey that I've been on. So thanks, Jen, so much for coming here tonight.
I am so excited to be here. I've watched you for sure over the last 4 months. So you've done so much, and I am happy to be here supporting you.
Thank you, darling. And then we have Cameron Taylor with us, who's been popping by from time to time here on some of these pods.
That's right.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
I got my pregame smoke in before we started rolling. I feel good.
Oh, can I have a little bit of that
You
before
sure
I need
can.
to?
You can catch
I
up.
need my pregame.
Catch up, no mustard. That's right. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Feeling great. You know, we're out of that cold tundra outside and in the warmth of the studio. So yeah, I'm good.
Yes, it feels. Wow,
Look at all your
Look
fans.
at all the fans.
They're really showing up for you guys.
That's awesome.
I didn't get to ask if I could use my stupid effects, but I figured it was,
Go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they love it.
So for everybody who is tuning in tonight, this is just a little bit of, I like to call it, I guess, the live launch viewing party. So we're partying down on the set here and enjoying some good plant medicine.
That's right.
We're staying on brand.
We got a nice herbal blend going.
I was thinking to myself, while I was watching my daughter play basketball this past weekend, a bunch of the parents, they duck out and head to the bar in between the games, which, whatever, that's great. And I would do that, but I don't drink. But then I thought, well, what if I just lit up a joint but I guess I didn't know where to do that either. But thanks, Cam. Can you remind us, let's talk about some of the things that you put in your joints, because that's why I wanted you to bring one down. Other than the cannabis, what do we got? I know you don't have your notes, but what is that?
Yeah, I don't have my notes with me today, but I got some.
We should explain his relevance here, though, too, or like his background, why he's,
Oh,
Well,
while,
we sure
while I'm
can.
here.
Yeah, man.
Oh, okay. You want me to reintroduce myself?
A little bit. I think we all should, right? Yeah.
All right. Oh, look at that. It's just like playing air hockey. I love it. So Cam, as I'm known by my friends, I'm an affiliate of Big Psych, one of the board members, also their kinship curator. I connect with the people. I do a lot of networking. We were interviewed by Maggie some months back, which is how we were introduced to each other. And since then, it's just been a complete snowball effect. We've, I want to say didn't we interview 2 people together? Wasn't it have we done 2 episodes?
Yeah, we've done Dr. Jackie, then we did MLX.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I very much so enjoyed both of those episodes. And I'm looking forward to many more. I think she's got something brewing, and she's becoming more and more connected with the psychedelic community, and she's very passionate about her message and the story of recovery through the use of psychedelics, which I think is a beautiful story. and it's also been life saving for me as well. So with that, that's a little bit about me.
Sorry, can I ask something, Cam? Because I guess I'm curious because you and I talked about mushrooms and you're super knowledgeable and whatever about that. What is your like? When's the first time you tried it? Like, how did this become such a big thing in your life? Would you say, just like to party and then start taking it seriously, or you know what I mean?
No, totally.
Yeah.
Nope, it did not start with a party. My sister passed away in 2017 from a drug overdose, and
That is not a party.
no, that's not a
Yeah,
party.
sorry.
And no, it's good. And then the pandemic took place, and everybody was in shutdown. And I remember I had a friend of mine who came from out of town, and we did mushrooms together that weekend, and went down to George Floyd Square, and it was just like the energy in the place. It was undescribable. That was my first initial like prophetic experience with it. At that point, I knew like, okay, I want to tap into this. I want to be able to access this more on a regular basis, because normally it was like real sketchy and sporadic, like when I would be able to access it. And let's just be real, it's a white people drug.
That's
Like-
what I wanted to talk to you about. Exactly.
Like for people usually from the hood, they do not know who to talk to get mushrooms. They're like, I don't know the dude. And then they talk to me, and I'm like, I know the dude. I am the dude.
Do you know how shocked I was when Cam's coming in? He likes weed. Like, Cam? Like, yeah, sounds like a dude I went to college with at St. Thomas.
Yep.
And then this dude walks in. I was like, oh, all right. So, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. Like, do you see a reception in the black community? Like, do you feel like it's more open now than it was 5 years ago, for instance?
It's definitely still very niche-y, like as far as who has access. Because it's really also a matter of like your proximity to what circle you're a part of. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's not like down with the psychedelic community and is having conversations with the organization I'm a part of. But it is becoming, I think, more mainstreamly acceptable. Because before, you talk about, I don't know, like my dad has talked to me about using mushrooms back in the day, but there's a lot of people that you hear, man, I don't mess with them mushrooms. That's how you mess around and see some demons or something. Like,
Oh, yeah, man. People are scared of it all the time. Yeah.
And there's a lot of fear mongering and all of that, but a lot of it is misinformation. A lot of bad governmental press, that was thrown out there to persuade people not to expand their consciousness. And but I will say, as with all things, it has its risks, depending on what your mental health background is. So just something to be aware of.
So for like a first time user type thing out there, like, do you subscribe to the whole thing that your mentality that you walk into it in is like essential? Like, if you're in a good mood. Okay, really?
That's a big part of it. That's even the people that do it, that perform studies with synthetic psilocybin, they'll tell you setting is very key. If you're suppressing a lot of things, a lot of emotions, things that you haven't dealt with, there's a good chance that stuff is going to come up when you use mushrooms. So I like to say that when people have coined having a bad trip, I rephrase it as having a informative trip. So you have things that are coming up, and you have to just be open to examining those things. And if you want to turn your head from it and don't want to see it, that's where, as with anything, when you see something uncomfortable and you have to deal with it, it becomes uncomfortable, and that's what you hear people talking about.
Can I just interject?
Please do.
No.
I think that because I know, well, Cam, you're like me. We're experienced users.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think for the majority of people that are new.
Maggie is the Shaquille O'Neal of mushrooms, so I just want y'all to know that.
No.
We call her Shaq Attack.
For people who are, thinking they might want to entertain microdosing, let's just say, I'd like to put it out there that
What's up, Natalie?
you do not need to necessarily worry about drawing trauma or, having to deal with some of these, as Cams calls them, informational or informative experiences, because when we talk about microdosing, it is subperceptual and it's such a small amount, so if anything, it should feel like a performance enhancer, like you've had a good cup of espresso and you want to go organize a frickin' closet. Okay. So I don't want for the people who have never experienced psilocybin, microdosing would be the place to start. And then if you want to, work on your inner self and start exploring some healing practices, then you would maybe up your dose and hopefully be with a guide who can quiz you on your trauma. But I just don't, because I think my whole thing, Cam, is people are scared shitless. So even when you say that, I had to interject.
Oh, you know what? I'm glad you added that extra piece of flavor in there, because yes, that is true. But I'll just say that it's every experience is going to be different for each person. And we can try to tailor an experience for you with the correct dosage, but the reality is that who to be a better therapist for your brain than your own brain? Like, nobody knows you better than you know yourself. So there's going to be certain things that are going to be shown to you that is not going to be shown to the person sitting right next to you.
And I think a lot of people, they want to try, they want to see what's up and see how it all works. And I have spoken with people who at first, so we're saying they're not ready, but ultimately microdosing was the way for them to start. And I mean, within a couple of days, these people are like, what? Just with a microdose, just feeling so wonderful and lovely and connected and happy. And, they're saying things like, why was I not, what was I waiting for? So that's that.
The part of what you're talking about is when dosed correctly, it's a performance enhancer.
Well, yeah, like, can you guys talk about that? When you do microdose, for instance, what would you say people can expect to feel? You know what I mean? Like you said a cup of coffee kind of thing, but if you take a little bit extra, can you actually get a little bit of, like, I've only gotten, like, magic mushrooms high. I've never kind of, like, toyed with anything in the middle. Does that exist?
Magic mushrooms high?
Like, yeah, I'm saying I try to get, like, high, right?
You're seeing shit?
Yeah,
So
that's
you're
what
getting
I do.
visuals?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I do
I
it.
have a happy hour dosage, okay?
Okay.
So, you can, that's the beauty of it. You can start
She said
micro, or you can be,
You said you have the happy hour dose?
Mid-row?
I have a happy
What does
hour
that
dose.
mean? You slam 'em?
Maggie's happy hour dose
Oh.
is different from everybody else's
It
happy
is.
hour dose. So I hate to even talk about...
Maggie has a high tolerance, folks.
This is a late night happy hour. So.
Yes, well, I'm allowed to have a high tolerance tonight.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to talk with Jen because I wanted to share our story. Because
Yeah,
you're
we
probably
need to.
like, why the heck's did you're supposed to be in bed right now.
I know. No, no, I'm happy to be here. And maybe I'll just say a little bit about my background and where I
Yes,
am, which
yes,
is
that'd be wonderful.
we just put up a title of NA Advocate, which is a space I've been in for many years. I have 9 years of sobriety from alcohol, and I did not have the even slightest inkling of trying to get sober through the use of psychedelics. It was not a thing.
Okay, there was supposed to be some confetti that went off when the...
I'm on it.
Oh yeah, get on that because I'm used to that. It's quite an accomplishment,
It
but
is.
doing this longer path, like the first year of AA, and what they tell you really is to be free of all substances. I had no idea that with your path, Maggie, and your story, that another route exists, and that it's
I
be
must interject again.
Okay, please
But
do. It's your
what-
show.
Another huge thing for me is exactly when I was struggling, I I felt like I didn't have, the only person I could talk to was my wine. And I couldn't, I wanted to talk, you want to talk to your parents, but my dad is an AA advocate, and that was not a route I was going to take. And then, we've discussed if you need to go to rehab, that costs some dough, and you might not even be able to
Yeah.
get there.
And if you've got a career and a job that you don't want others to know that you're going
Yes.
away, it's nearly impossible. I had 2 decades of alcohol misuse with the idea that it was so shameful I couldn't share it with anyone.
Right.
It's a disease of isolation, or it's just a very lonely place.
So
Hey,
that-
Jen, I'm sorry to cut in, but how many years were you sober?
Are you going to put up a big 9, like confetti with 9? That'd be great. Oh, that's special. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's really all I wanted to do. Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, well, my reason for the interjection is I just, I really want to put it out there for anybody who is struggling and fears that they have nowhere to go or turn to, this is the place. Come here or talk to me because, that's why I'm sitting here, because the magic of the mushrooms, of microdosing, within 7 days.
Yeah,
I felt
it's an
like-
incredible story.
Yeah.
I mean, how you talk about just the idea that even using alcohol was kind of lifted from you. And I had a year where I was like, this is awful. I don't know what else to do. I don't have any other solution other than just not drinking.
Right. And then, people quit or stop drinking, and then they, become hermits. And it's so hard to,
They don't
Dry
heal.
drunks.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
heal, and there's a lot of relapse. The treatment, success rates are not really great when people go back into their social spaces after being away at treatment. It just all falls apart. So, yeah.
But the beauty is with the mushrooms, and now I want to talk about more about what you're doing. There's so many fun options and excitement all around.
Yeah, they're really starting from when I had my idea to do a TEDx talk, which was at the beginning, like around COVID, coming out of that, there were so many makers that went to work creating all these amazing products in the NA industry, and also technology just advanced. So you can de-alcoholize products, you can do all of these things, and the market just exploded. So it's like now we actually have some quality options, which I had been seeking and had never found. And you think back to 10 years ago, there was O'Doul's and a few options that were very, like, people didn't even want to drink those. So the market has changed.
Can you tell us about your new partnership?
Oh, sure. Yes. I just partnered with the wine company, and
The wine company, right?
yes,
So it's like a huge ass thing. Like
they are. What I love about them is they've been in business for 35 years, and they are a distributor. They bring all of these products into bars and restaurants and have been, selling alcohol for years. And years ago, they decided that there was opportunity in the non-alcoholic market to bring some of these great NA options in along with their alcoholic products. And that's the integration, I think, where we're at right now. It's not we're taking away alcohol from these people, but we're offering another way to choose not to drink for whatever reason. So that feels good.
Can you say the name of the product again so I can put it on screen?
Sure. It's not a product. It's
Or,
the
I'm sorry.
wine company.
The wine company?
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
And I'll get it. It'll just take me a few minutes. But yeah.
Sure. Yeah, and then they have a whole portfolio of different products that are non-alcoholic that I can now go and serve.
Somebody's
What's he adding?
comment.
Comment.
You guys are
Oh,
amazing. H dose.
sweet.
Yeah, AJ, happy hour
This-
Joe's.
mhm.
Okay, and
Our
then
story.
we need to
We
tell
gotta
the
s-
story.
We do.
I'm going to tell
You
it.
start,
Okay,
yes.
I'll start. So,
I'm gonna roll up another
yes, please do. Make
It's a
yourself
long one.
useful, Cam. So Jen and I, 10 years ago or so, I think I had reached, or someone had suggested or recommended you as a copywriter. So I reached out and we had some coffee, but we never ended up working on whatever together. But we became friends on Facebook. And so for, 10 years, I was stalking. I mean, I was looking at you from afar on Facebook, and I just saw, I saw you had posted about your sobriety, and then I don't know. But anyway, and you're a marketing guru, and I'm always looking for my side hustle job. So, I thought I'm going to send her a little message, and I started typing. I'm like, and now I'm divorced and I'm stopped drinking. I go, no, I'm not going to send this message. I'll just call her tomorrow. And
this is after 8 years of not having any engagement or interaction with each other.
Zero engagement, none. But I did not send the Facebook message, and I went to bed, and then in the morning took a shower, and when I came out, you called me, and you said, "Oh my God, Maggie, are you still in real estate? I'm obsessed with this building." And she said the name of the building, but I'm not going to say
Thank
it.
you.
And I said, "Well, I'll be damned, Jen. I live here." And so, so that was just weird as hells.
It was. And I was like, that is a sign, because I had been in a home living, in a marriage, living in a home for 22 years. And I didn't have the first idea about looking for a place to live.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you didn't look that old to live in a home.
Oh.
But yeah.
And so I think when I was like looking for someone that could give me some advice and give me some direction in what I should do, I thought of you. And that's why I reached out. And I just was like, that is a sign. I was like, I'm not looking any further. I'm going to come live. And now we're like 3 doors down from each other.
And then why did that happen after, I sent the night before that whole thing?
That was your,
yes. So,
6 month.
But yes, we're 3 doors down. And so what I think is for me, when I'm talking about my journey, it's like a pivotal moment, because I think right around that time, when you moved in, and I was, starting to realize I feel fucking good. Like I'm not, no longer crying my tears of sadness. And if anything, I'm crying tears of happiness. But it's right around that time also where I started to kind of just notice, or you were like the first, like, I'm like, what is with these little nudges with the universe? Like, how, that's a huge sign.
That's how I talk. Yeah.
And then, I'm not going to tell the whole story, but Jen introduced me to a woman, Laura King, who put on this workshop. It's called Pursuing Your Purpose. And I ended up going there, and I said, I'm thinking about doing a podcast. And then 2 seconds later, I have a podcast.
2 seconds. Yeah.
It's just so, but I just like to kind of like, because I've never been that person. I'm not a religious person. I don't really ever, or never was really believing, in the signs and all. And it's like now I think I'm the most spiritual I've ever been of my life.
You're open to it.
And open to it because of magic mushrooms.
Well, you know what I saw in you, Maggie? There was so much purpose. And I after talking with you, initially moving into where we live together, was really like seeing myself almost like 5 years ago when I started talking about my sobriety journey. And and I didn't know it then, but it now is so purposeful and it brings so much meaning. And so I see you just like taking off with this and owning it and being unapologetic.
Oh, thanks, darling.
Welcome.
Well, I'm so excited we get to have our little journeys side by side because, I mean, every day we see each other. We have 100 different updates, and think about what we did yesterday. That was so amazing. And
Seriously.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so
What's he doing?
it's only. Is that me?
What is happening?
It could be anyone.
It's all
We're
of
on a
us,
journey.
really.
That's all of us on a journey. A very large backpack.
It's just another audience member. Sorry, it's not meant to completely distract everybody. Except this one is. But,
Oh, no.
Cam, how's that? Jay.
You're gonna pass it. You're gonna.
Maggie, can I ask you a couple like practical questions? Ex junkie to whatever. Like, whenever I hear this kind of stuff, it, I had a drug issue a long time ago, and so I know what it's like to be someone in addiction and all that. And there's a lot of practical questions that I think people who need the help from this kind of stuff might have. So I want to ask you some of those questions, like. When you have a heavy drinking problem, sometimes there's some. I guess, what was the extent of your drinking when you were doing it too much? If you're comfortable sharing that, just to give people perspective on like what you can walk out of. You know what I mean?
If you must know.
I think it's relevant for people.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, my thing was, I was a very successful, like I would say, I'm going to take 10 days off or a week off or a month off or a year off. And no, I guess I didn't do that shit. But I would do like.
You were functional, like you were doing well, right? I'm sorry. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm trying to say I would do well taking a week off or a couple days off. So then I would tell myself, I don't have this problem, because I think people have such a weird idea of what a problem is, because I would tell myself, well, in Australia, they wake up and have beer at 11, or, in Europe, they're drinking wine 24/7. So anyway, my thing was, when I was at my worst, yes, I was drinking daily, and I would try and make it till noon, and in some mornings, if something was about, I had to do, I got to the point I would like chug a little, a glass of wine. I would just chug it. And then if I had something to do, like, I don't know, I don't want to say what it was.
Yeah. No.
Just to get that kind of like take the edge off.
No, I got you. What I'm trying to do, like, there's people who have issues like this, and it's like.
She's like, I don't want to say what it was.
Yeah.
What I was doing, but.
Well, yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, I think we get it. I was just trying to get some idea of, like,
Well, now everybody knows. Wait,
Well,
do we air this?
You didn't say anything. You just said you drank wine. That's what. If you had a drinking problem, that's what people assume.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, I didn't hit a rock bottom. I didn't go to rehab or whatever. I get a DUI is what I meant to say. But I just was waking up and looking at my face. And I just, how I was feeling, I felt like absolute shit. Even if I was having like, I remember the last time I drank, I had 2 glasses of wine, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and I'm like, I'm over this. It was 3. I would always wake up at 3:27. What the fuck is up with that? And it would I would sit there with anxiety for 2 hours, and
horrible.
then so anyway, where was I going with that? Oh, I just decided I had enough. I was feeling like crap, and that literally was it. I felt like it was. It sounds a little vain, but I'm like, it's killing me. Like I feel like I just am this, whatever. Somebody Gandalf.
Well, at least now they refer to you as Shaq, so that must feel a lot better.
Stepped up.
Damn.
Yeah.
She called herself Gandalf the Grey.
What do you think it is about? Like, so did you start just microdosing?
I did. So
Okay,
I actually had to, because that's so remarkable. I'm impressed with myself that I only microdosed for 10 days because, they were these chocolate truffles, and each had 0.5 grams, which is on the higher end of a microdose, but, not for Macro Maggie.
Yeah, I just think like as like an addict back in the day, it used to be like I can't just stop and have like no euphoria ever again, kind of. So I mean, I can see it even just being a good step for people, just to not be so scary.
That's what it was, Gabe. It was so weird when I was having my 10-day microdose session. It said the reason that I felt like for the first time, I think it was like on day 7 or something, I'm like, I can totally get rid of alcohol. I can live a life without alcohol because I have this. And because I love how I'm feeling right now. I feel, it's not like I was feeling intoxicated but it made me, talk to people who microdose. They tell you the same shit. They're like, you walk around, you're smiling, you want to like hang out with your kids and play Legos and, stuff that you
Yeah, it's a pure experience, right? Like,
And so I said, I can do that. I can do this every day or whatever. So, yeah.
I think that's huge. And I think people who are anti-drinking and stuff can be like, they hear that and they think that you're cheating in a sense. And to me, that's just bullshit. Like
Yeah.
it's, yeah.
I want to comment on that because of the AA culture and what, I was even told. So I've never done mushrooms, never done any. I've watched Maggie and her journey, but also, I earned it. I earned, my sobriety in a really tough way.
Are you mad at me, girl?
Well, I should be, right? I mean, that's what I think a lot of that stems from, just this, tight ownership to like working the steps, which is all, that's what I did. It worked for me. But to say that there's no other path or no other way is crazy. And
Yeah.
now we know more. And this is actually under the category of education, right? What you're doing.
Right.
So having people being open to listen, I think is
Yeah.
a huge place to start.
And I think that, there were people in my life, I'm not going to name names, okay? But they were straight
Tom.
up like, Maggie, are you sure you're just not replacing the alcohol with the mushrooms? And I'm like, actually, I am. But the whole thing, and Cam can talk about it too, psilocybin is not physically addictive or, you can't overdose or be addicted. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
You're saying you don't sell your body for mushrooms.
This is what
Do you, Maggie?
Wait. No, but
I know that. It was a
when
joke. No.
I started to think about it because I need some money coming in.
All right, me neither.
I'm joking.
You're joking.
We're joking. Yeah. You got to joke. I mean, it's just that's what, when people look at this kind of culture, that's what people are going to say. And I've always thought that's just huge bullshit, because anything that helps anyone get more away from the toxicity that comes from alcohol and things like that is a win. Yes? No?
I look, that I would agree with that, but I'd also say to Maggie's point, as I continued to use mushrooms, I noticed I started using less of them. The more you do the work, the less I feel like you need the downloads. And then sometimes I've even done it, and the mushrooms came back and was like, "Don't come back here looking for answers until you do the work that I asked you to do from the previous lesson." So
But that's the thing. They
That's
talk
amazing.
to you all the time.
yeah, so
And, sorry if I'm interrupting.
no, I just was
So
gonna
it's
say
like the
that.
reverse of alcohol use, which always increases, as we know. And this is
When I look at mushrooms now, I'm like, do I really want?
To
Do I
take
do I
on-
really do I really want to have this session right now? Like, because it's therapy,
It is.
and so
have I done my work?
yeah, it's
Yes.
what. And then sometimes it's going like if you're got different stuff that you need to tighten up on, it's gonna talk about all those flaws, all that shit.
Yeah. My thing is like, do I
Real
really want to have cry face right now?
Yeah.
Because you're guaranteed to cry, which, whenever I cry, I feel like I'm healing, or I hope I am, or dealing,
For sure.
But depending on, the amount. But if you take the happy hour dose or lower, you'll be dancing and laughing. You love to dance, Jen.
I freaking love it, but I do it substance free right now. So
That's what's
Well,
up.
good for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it harder? Like Maggie, for instance, I would imagine your early trips, you're having profound trips, or what, when you did do macro doses, if you did. Do you ever?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I wasn't sure.
But when I first started, it was still in my mind a recreational thing. I knew it wasn't like out there nobody had said Maggie, did you know that I hadn't done any research that psilocybin can help with depression and addiction? None of that. I just knew on my own. I was like, wow, if I got this, I can keep it up. And so then I was recreationally using mushrooms, probably because I wasn't drinking and I wanted to, have fun. And I really didn't have any like sort of big, heavy trips. Nothing like that. I was constantly, fun, poolside. And then,
Yes.
yeah, and then what had happened was, well, that's the whole thing. But I ended up, so what culminated is when I started really being in a, like, this is my passion and I need to pursue it, is because I did have a macro experience or a mystical experience in a macro trip. And I'm not going to give you too many details, but essentially it was my grandfather who told me, Maggie, your parents were teachers. I was a teacher. He was a principal in Stillwater. And he goes, you would make a gifted teacher. And you are here on this earth to share your story and help as many people as you possibly can. That's what happened in my macro trip. And I was, I took it to heart. And then it was 2 days later that Minneapolis, or Big Psych and those guys worked with the mayor to make the executive order where psychedelics are the lowest priority, of any offense. And so then I thought, well, damn, like, what is going on? So, because I live in Minneapolis, and I said, that this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, you texted me that day.
Whatever
You were so
it is.
excited
I
about
kept
that.
saying, well,
Yeah.
that's why, because, Constantina, she goes, Maggie,
Yeah,
like,
you
you
need a
literally
podcast."
just can't shut the fuck
Yeah.
up. So why don't you start a podcast? And so,
If you're not going to shut the fuck up, maybe you can get paid for it.
Yes, exactly.
right. Oh, yeah. My other idea is lobbying, and I'm still looking into that. But I feel like it, I'd love
There's
to
a
be
lot
an
of
advocate.
directions you could go.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't hear that about that, like the teacher thing. I think that's kind of profound. Cam, what's your last profound, like, mushroom breakthrough? Do you still have them, like, after you've done it a long time? That's actually a question that I was getting to.
Yes, you do.
Or are they harder to get? No?
It meets you where you're at,
Okay.
depending on what the lesson is that week.
Yeah.
Like the last big mushroom breakthrough I did with my two oldest, and they're in their 20s, and we had a nice mushroom smoothie, and did a deep dive just into a conversation about the past and where we're at now and things that we've experienced and things that we've gone through and all of our intergenerational healing journey. We just discussed all of that, and there was tears that was shed. I mean, it was super deep. I got a chance to have that conversation with my son before he went back to college, and also with my daughter. It was a beautiful thing.
I think that's incredible. I think like to do that with your kids. I'm very comfortable with this stuff, and that would sort of intimidate me to some degree, just because you don't know what's gonna come out, right? I mean, to some degree. So that's awesome. I think.
Yeah,
I can see that being really bonding, though.
totally. I mean,
Yeah.
but you gotta be open to whatever your child is bringing to you. Just be open to receiving what you're hearing, and practice active listening.
Yeah.
Really hear with your whole being, because sometimes we think we hear what they're saying, but we be missing the mark. So it was a beautiful experience, and I think a lot of the messages that come through for me are, have to do with relationships and interactions and all those different things, like how you talk to people, how you handle different situations with people, all of that. Yeah, it's a biggie.
Yeah. Thank you, Cam. That was I love that.
It was. I think that's awesome.
Good content.
Yes, I would say so myself.
Cam, you're a content machine. Way to use your children for content. That's amazing. I'm curious if you guys see this way because I used to do shrooms like let's say once a year, and I do a nice heavy like a macro. I guess I wasn't aware of micro as an option, but the way I've described it is when you hear like when you hear like your buddy bitch about their marriage, and it's like you listen to them, and it's like all the answers. It's obvious as hell. But then when it's your own marriage, it's like, yeah, I don't fight. Like you don't see any of the issues. To me, mushrooms are that opportunity to get outside yourself and look at yourself as if you're your friend. Like, I don't know. For me, it became all my problems were so clear. Like, it was a great way to tap in that way. Do you guys relate to that? Or Maggie, do you? Or not really?
All I know is my motto is listen to the mushroom. So I feel like in general, it makes problems, nothing, all of it is just minuscule. Like
Perspective.
I don't need to worry about the shit that I used to worry about all the time or, and it just helps it helps you put yourself into other people's shoes. And, it's, yeah.
Okay, what was the question again?
Like, basically for me, the way that I would describe, because that's what we're trying to do a lot of this, right, is trying to like educate and show other people. Mm-hmm. So when people ask me how it feels, because I have a couple of friends who are like struggling in divorces and stuff right now, and I always say like, man, I'm telling you should try it because it gives you perspective on yourself as if you are not you. Like, so like all your problems are very clear, as if you're looking at your friends' problems that are always easy to decipher for me at least.
No, it does give you a very introspective look on yourself, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like looking at yourself from 1,000 feet, kind of, and in a way that's not clouded by emotion.
Like I said, who's to be a better therapist for your brain than your own brain?
Right.
You even all the stuff that you don't tell your partner, the things that you
even the bullshit,
all the
shit.
Because most of our day is spent in our heads. If we're being all the way.
Actually, for me, my whole day I'm in my head. Yeah.
And you're going over things, combing over things, different interactions, all kind of stuff, things you got to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, you're definitely faced with, I would say, the things that you're typically trying to avoid when you have the mushroom trip. And if you're meeting life head on, then it's even, I would say, sometimes the best to me is going outside into nature and actually seeing like the trees and you're just actually seeing how everything is connected.
Hell yeah.
And it's it's a super beautiful experience. I would actually recommend anybody go find a nice backyard with some bird feeders and just watch nature just do its thing and show up and show out. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
The colors and
Meet me in my backyard.
Well, I'll be there next week. Yeah. How does microdosing fit into that? Like Maggie, like that's one thing that's hard for me to understand because I haven't done it. How does it affect you on a day-to-day basis or help you, however you characterize it?
Yeah, well, I'm just going to kind of repeat this like situation. I have a client who just started microdosing, so I'm going to just give her example, and then I can tell you how it works for me too. But it's just that little, extra happiness boost through the day, and she's got energy and wants to, just feels the love. And I think over time, though, and you'll see on the podcast, we asked the question to a neuroscientist. I think psilocybin works to rewire our brains. And I think that's essentially what happened to me, unbeknownst to me. Over time, I just realized, Holy cow, I am so happy. I am no longer crying my tears of sadness. And I feel unbelievably great. And I wasn't microdosing per se, but I think that if you microdose and you take it seriously and you don't take breaks and you use it with intention and ask out loud or tell the mushroom what you're hoping to achieve, you're gonna get there. I know it sounds crazy, but I mean, shit, it helped me to quit drinking. So,
It's really powerful.
yeah.
That's always the worst shit with this is that you say stuff like that, and of course it does sound like it does sound crazy when you say ask the mushroom, but it's like just do it, try it once, and it's you'll understand what she says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been learning, a lot about plant medicine. And for example, I'd have my hape, which is that shamanic snuff. And the way that my psychedelic coach, Bestie, Emily taught me, you literally take the nose, the thing,
Gabe.
the thing that you shoot it up,
Maggie got all kind of stuff.
I know.
and then you hold it to your heart and you make an intention, and then you shoot it up, and then it with me it helps me calm my nerves and all that stuff. But I think that plant medicine in general, I've been a lot more like conscious about when I'm having cannabis, and hoping rather than just chilling out and sitting on the couch or whatever. I never do that.
Duck
Anyway,
couch.
I
Pigeon.
hope to I'm taking it more intentionally is my whole point. Yeah.
Are you going to talk about your the thing your client, like what you're doing for your clients? Are we talking about that tonight? I think it's super relevant.
Yeah, I mean, in this day and age, I have come to,
Don't get me started.
So here's my thing. Microdosing literally saved my life, right? So at the end of the day, all I want to do is help people, and I want them to know that they have options and can get help. And so in turn, I know so many fabulous, responsible resourceful everything.
Resourceful resources.
If anybody out there, wants to take a stab with microdosing, contact me, and you will be on a safe path. And I'm super fucking excited for you. So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And if people want to reach out to you for something like that,
That's what I just said. Yeah. Feel free to reach out.
sure. How would you like them to do that?
Well,
to do such a thing?
I'm all over on Facebook.
Why is it every time I say something, it's like I'm saying in Chinese? You guys are getting in my head.
Oh,
Am I just?
maybe because we can't see your face.
Oh, I forgot. That's your thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Okay, but the best way would be info. It's a email address. Info
Yeah.
at mindsonmushrooms.com.
I will put it up.
Thank you. I suppose that was important.
Kind of important.
Yeah. I forgot we're on.
Yeah.
Never mind.
That's why I'm here to pick you up. It's all right. We're good. Oh darn! I was gonna get your wine thing too.
What is that?
Jen's wine thing, or the thing I was gonna pull up from earlier.
Oh, the handle for the wine company?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
remember. I'm terrible with this
That's
stuff.
them.
Oh, yeah. It's literally
Yeah.
the one.
That was
company.
like 2 hours ago we talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't say I'm great at my job. Just adequate.
Let's see here. Cam, what you got?
Oh, just got some Woosah bars down here, Got a milk chocolate crunch. Oh, yeah, that's the Nestle Crunch one. And then there's the Woosah hash bar, which has mushrooms and marijuana.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are fantabulous.
Packaging
Yes.
is great.
We
Yes.
got a shout out from
It's
Lee
real-
Nelson or
It's real
Leah.
groovy, man.
Lee.
It's real groovy. Shout out to my man Ant.
Lee says, I appreciate your vulnerability, honesty, and courage to share your personal journeys, education through storytelling. Heart, can't wait to continue listening to Mom.
Mine's on mushrooms.
Oh my God, I thought it was one of your children.
No, as a marketing
Jen,
person, I was like,
You
that's that
are smart
Thank you.
because I was going,
Gave me a fucking heart attack.
Lee.
right? Mom. And I'm like,
Yeah.
sometimes she calls me mom. No, she doesn't. Well, thank you, Lee. I know these comments are so nice. I can see them on my laptop. And Jody has one too. Maybe she'll get lucky and it'll pop up. I was going to say,
Ask and you shall receive. Look,
oh, there we go.
got to shout him out. Jody Z says, love your honesty, because this is audio, right? Or we're going to do audio too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to do it or?
Sure. Jody Z says, love your honesty and bravery to get happy. Oh, your honesty and bravery to get happy. Love you.
Love you, Jody Z. Let's see here. Well, it's 10:30. So, Jen, if
It is
you need
10:30.
to duck out and at any time,
I'm here till the end, assuming
Well-
it doesn't go
we could, yeah.
super late.
Or we're not hustling you out whenever you need. You
I
get-
just like the guests to know their options. They can
Thank you.
duck out
Thank you.
if needed. Yeah, let's see here. I wish some of the Gabe has any of the nobody's asking any questions.
I'm putting them through. Yeah, no, I mean they have been, but I put them all through. It's just mostly a lot of like support, so it's good.
Okay.
We've got the Unleashed podcast. Wait, Unleashed podcast. Do you know these people?
No.
Well, they're unleashed, so we should shout out Unleashed podcast. Says you guys are amazing. Happy hour dose. We love it. I don't know what you guys do, but we support you back.
Looks cool. Whatever.
Yeah, it's never good to be leashed. Unleashed is always preferable. So, yeah. What are there any like events coming up or organizations you want to shout out or talk about?
Can I talk about
Yes.
that?
Anything.
Yeah, so in May, I co-founded Sauna and Sobriety, which is really around the idea of we need to kind of figure out how to integrate into our social spaces a little differently. And the model of sauna, which is sauna and cold immersion, really pushes like being uncomfortable in a space and being uncomfortable or being comfortable with being uncomfortable. And so that is a little bit of a mirror to sobriety because there are a lot of uncomfortable moments where you just want to pick up the drink again and creating a pause for it. So this community, we meet once a month and we go to different sauna companies and do a bunch of experiences in the outdoors. We go from 200 degrees to 30 degrees back and forth, and it's exhilarating. And it's, for me, was such a great experience to find that euphoria. You get a dopamine rush, you get a little hit from that, which is exciting. And it's, when you don't have that in sobriety, or, in sobriety, you just don't have access, or I hadn't had access to it.
The events
So-
are so fun and amazing.
They
I
were-
mean, and
yeah.
the saunas are gorgeous, and the drinks, NA.
I bring all the NA drinks
beverages.
to every event. Yeah.
It's so much fun, and I
Yeah.
thank you.
Are you
for,
able to talk about
yeah.
the pricing or like?
Oh yeah, I mean we try to keep it around $30 to $50 per event, and it's
Okay.
a 4-hour event, and we do, nourishing food, great beverages. We show people that you don't have to drink soda or a subpar NA. We actually serve elevated NA that is refreshing and hydrating, and it goes with sauna. And then we've got really good food. We usually have
That sounds
yeah,
fun.
yeah, it's really great. And then we always come around together in community and say, what brought you here? And there's a lot of people in our community that struggle with anxiety, depression, and want to be sober. And so the conversations that come from that are amazing.
Mac, is this the sauna group you've been talking about?
Well, no.
Oh.
But I go to Jen's events, and then I did join Embrace North, the sauna. I call it a sauna club.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jen and I well, go there too. But
Yeah,
it's
and we host some sun and sobriety
Yes,
events there
yes,
as well,
yes,
so
yes.
it's all kind of connected. Yep.
and Embrace North is
That shit sounds intense.
Yeah.
She said a sauna and then a polar plunge.
Basically, yes.
Oh shit!
And just breath work and through it all.
Yeah.
Just being real chill.
You know
with
they
it.
say you can actually reach a psychedelic state doing that.
Yeah, you can. You absolutely
Yes,
can.
I've heard that. Yeah.
That's what I've been learning too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to try it at least
Yeah,
once.
I see you.
Get a coach.
What are your favorite for the mushroom stuff? Are there little tips like that you guys have to, if someone like, let's say, macro dosing, something I'm personally more interested in, ways to enhance your high or to make it come on faster or better or whatever, anything like, like breathing or whatever.
I would say definitely using breath work during a session will help on your rise going to the peak. One, you have to just know that, tell yourself that what you're feeling is normal, whatever that is.
Right. I know you've never experienced this, and this is the most bizarre shit in your life. It's
Yeah,
normal.
If your body is
Trust me.
vibrating, trust me, you are okay. Yeah, no, you're, yeah.
What
that-
like?
But Cam, can you tell me, or someone told me, if you take your psilocybin powder and put it with lemon, doesn't it come on faster if you like?
They say, yeah.
I knew he's withholding. I knew there's some tricks like that. He's
So
holding
the
back.
citric acid is supposed to kind of simulate the stomach acid, which is what releases the psilocin inside of the psilocybin.
Yeah.
Oh, so
But-
that's fascinating to me. So the other thing you always hear is whether you should chew it up or like swallow it in bigger chunks or grind it into smaller things like that. Do you think there's any difference?
I'm gonna tell you my experiences after I've made hundreds and hundreds of smoothies. And out of all these smoothies that I've made, I've kind of got it down to a science. And yeah, you if you have one of my smoothies, I'm gonna get you fucked up.
I'll have a smoothie.
But it makes sense.
I mean, I shouldn't say fucked up. I'm gonna get you right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Some people might be like, I don't want to be fucked
I
up.
know.
No,
Those two people.
no. Yeah, no. I'm gonna give you a dose that where you feel it, but yet but you can still be social. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? Because I want people to be sociable. Be able to still hold conversation, listen to music, have a whole experience.
Yeah.
You got the lights going,
Yeah.
got the mandala on the ceiling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're too messed up to listen to
about
music,
tonight?
you're in trouble.
But to get back to Gabe's question, I do believe if it's, ground, versus like if you're chewing a big mushroom,
Ugh.
the more ground, I think the quicker it would work because then it's less digestion with your body. You know what I'm saying? So
But then I've heard that the trip is not as good. That's what I'm asking, I guess.
No,
You haven't heard that? Oh, because it doesn't hit your
I'ma
blood
tell
in
you
the same
something.
doses.
some of these smoothies that I make,
Yeah.
I can put you in a transcendent space.
I've never been high a day in my life. God damn it.
Hey, and you know what? And I'm gonna tell you, but I will say this: there is something to be said about the esoteric ways in which mushrooms were partaken in by indigenous people, where they would actually, to show respect for the mushroom, you were supposed to actually just chew it up raw in your mouth, let it sit with your saliva, hold it in your mouth, all of that, so it kind of combines with your essence, and then you go and you swallow.
I like that.
I mean, it was like a whole symbolic
So,
piece to that.
Well, let me tell you this. Whenever I was consuming raw, whenever I'm chewing, although it's so terrible, but that's when I'm really focused on my intention, and like I'm just like so thankful for the mushrooms because they saved my life. And so I use that time to just like, even though it can be rough, but just really like close my eyes and just be like, these gross things I love.
Oh, I hate it. Yeah.
But they're so special. So, have a little potato chip, or, you can easily put things with them too. Who is that annoying couple?
You mean your fans?
Oh, I only saw them. But yeah, or else I know some people who like to have little, like gummy bears or something, and just trade off.
Do you know that I know some folks that actually made like some mushroom gummies?
Of course I knew that.
Yeah.
No, I did not. No, never heard of that at all.
I know some folks too that make them.
That's good.
I'm not a
Yeah.
fan of the mushroom. I want to try.
They were actually pretty good. I didn't. They were all right. It was an experiment. Yeah, I liked it.
When are we going to do a podcast party? Like up in the studio upstairs or something like that? Or even down here, for Christ's sakes. Patreon.
Shit.
Yeah.
We did that for the ladies podcast.
Well, I'm just
We had like
going
6
over my options. But I got a couple ideas for it, and I will get back to you. But I need to, I would say, aim for February.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to keep everyone updated like I constantly do.
That works for me.
All right.
Well, you
Well,
heard it here first, folks.
yeah.
Thank you for coming out and
I feel like we
supporting.
need more confetti for Maggie. Can we? I mean,
Of course.
we
Of
could
course.
celebrate her.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys coming out, showing us
Yes,
some
thanks
love.
for staying up so late,
Yeah.
and
This is
appreciate
this is
all
a
of
part
you
of
so
many more to
much.
come.
Seriously, and I appreciate you guys. I love you
I
guys.
love you
So
too,
fun.
Maggie.
Oh, and like I keep saying, I'll keep you updated on everything. And head to my website, mindsonmushrooms.com. Shoot, I got to make some updates, but it's good enough. All right, guys, love you. Thank you. Bye, Natalie,
Peace,
Jody,
peace,
Lee,
peace.
and I can't see who else. Love you guys.